From monumental pyramids to inscription carved into the walls, the ancient Egypt civilizations holds many secrets. In this video, we will be looking into the top 10 strangest mysteries of ancient Egypt that continue to baffle historians, archaeologists, and scholars alike. So stay tuned and enjoy the video. Disappearance of Queen Nefertiti. Queen Nefertiti was one of the most influential women in ancient Egyptian history, during what is believed to have been the peak of Egyptian power in the 18th dynasty. Her husband, Pharaoh Akhenaten, was the father of none other than King Tutankhamun. A surprising amount of information is known about Nefertiti, thanks to the number of remarkable archaeological findings from the beginning of the 20th century. In 1912, a near-perfect bronze bust was discovered, and Nefertiti quickly became one of Egypt's most famous icons. Unfortunately, her elevated status meant that her final resting place was never discovered. The fact that her tomb was never found has raised numerous questions among skeptics as to how important she was at the time, but all of these questions are purely speculative. Death of King Tut. Tutankhamun, also known as King Tut, is the stepson of Queen Nefertiti and is arguably Egypt's most famous ruler. He was far from the strongest or longest-lasting ruler Egypt has ever known, but he's well known because of his tomb, which was discovered in 1922. Up until then, the tomb had been one of the best preserved in the world. The remains of King Tut's sarcophagus continue to dominate Egyptology. He ruled Egypt from an early age, but his reign didn't last very long. He suffered from numerous health issues and died young. He was only 19 years old when he passed away. There's no definitive answer as to how he died, leaving experts to guess at the end of his life. A detailed examination of his skeleton showed him to have a fractured skull, as well as a broken knee. It's unclear whether this was the result of a brutal death at the hand of a political rival, or simply a tragic accident. The mysterious land of Punt. The ancient Egyptians interacted with many alien cultures throughout their history. However, few remained as mysterious and shadowy as the inhabitants of the area they refer to as Punt. There are numerous written records about what was once known as the Punt region. However, there are few clear indications as to where this region might have been located. Punt is often portrayed as a mighty African kingdom that coexisted with the Egyptians in what is now southern Africa. The Egyptians held this kingdom in high regard and worship, so much so that they referred to it as God's land. The inhabitants of Punt had no written records of themselves at all. All that we know about Punt is derived from the writings of the ancient Egyptians themselves. The best evidence for Punt's true location can be found in the form of a few mummies of baboons that were mummified in an ancient Egyptian tomb. Scientists trace the origin of these baboons to what is now Ethiopia. Labyrinth of Giza. While the pyramids of Egypt are truly awe-inspiring, some researchers believe there was more to the region than meets the eye. There is a fair amount of archaeological and historical evidence that suggests there was once an extensive labyrinth that ran parallel to the pyramids. According to historian Herodotus, who visited Egypt in the 4th century BCE, the pyramids had a massive labyrinth. Today, there is no evidence of such a labyrinth, and many scholars believe that Herodotus may have been lying or did not accurately describe what he saw. However, in 2008, a structure was discovered beneath mountains of sand in the vicinity of the Great Pyramids. Geo-radar scans revealed a large stone foundation that measured almost 1,000 feet in length. No excavation has yet been conducted to uncover this mysterious structure. However, that could soon change in the future. The Dendera Light. On the wall of the Temple of Dendera in Egypt is a massive relief depicting a strange image. According to the traditional interpretation, the image shows a snake in a ball of fire emerging from a lotus flower and being held by a pillar that has human arms. It's not just the arms that make the image strange, it's the fact that it looks just like a model of the Crookes tube, an early light bulb invented by the Egyptians around the 19th century. In fact, it looks so much like a Crookes tube that some people believe it might be a diagram of how to make one. The room that displays the Dendera light is the only one in the entire temple that doesn't have a fire-burning lamp. Archaeologists have found residues that show Egyptians burned lamps in all other parts of the temple except for this room. So, if the Egyptians didn't store an early version of the light bulb in this room, how did they see anything? And if the room was completely dark, why did they put such a complex image on the wall? There is no answers to these questions. Destroyed Pyramid of Djedefre. Djedefre's pyramid was supposed to have the highest peak of all the pyramids in Egypt. This is not because he had the resources to build such a huge pyramid, but because he used a small workaround to make the top of his tomb a little higher than the pyramids of his predecessors. He built his pyramid on a hillside. However, for some reason, while all of Egypt's pyramids are still standing thousands of years later, Djedefre's pyramids have been destroyed, and only the base of the pyramid remains. No one knows for sure what happened to the pyramid. Some believe that Djedefre died before they could complete most of the work, leaving his pyramid in ruins. Others think that the Romans quarried the stones for the pyramid 2,000 years ago, destroying a huge historical monument. And others believe that the people of Egypt simply hated Djedefre so much that they tore his pyramid apart. The Unknown Queen. In 2015, archaeologists discovered an ancient tomb of a woman buried among the vast pyramids of Egypt's Old Kingdom. Inscriptions in her tomb refer to her as both the wife of the king and the mother of the king. 450 years ago, this woman was one of the most powerful people on earth. She had more power than any woman in the entire nation, and yet no one knows who she is. Historians think she may be Kentokwes III, based on the assumption that she is the daughter of Queen Kentokwes II. They also think she was the wife of Pharaoh Neferefre and the mother of Pharaoh Mekahur, but they don't really know. If her name is Kentokwes Il, then there is no mention of her anywhere in anything we have ever found. Whatever her identity, she was a powerful woman once, but now she is nothing more than a mystery. Hidden Chamber at Giza. These great pyramids are well known to the world, but there is still much we don't know about them. While large parts of these pyramids have been extensively excavated and studied, there are still some areas of the pyramids that have not been fully explored by modern archaeologists and scientists. In 2017, researchers scanned the largest pyramids. Khufu and their findings were astonishing. In addition to 3 chambers that had previously been discovered, there was an even larger hidden chamber at the base of the pyramid. There are no known entrances to this chamber, and how or why the Egyptians added this additional chamber to the pyramid remains a complete mystery. What is in this chamber, and what was it used for, will likely never be known. The Great Sphinx. Located in the shadow of the Great Pyramids of Giza, the Great Sphinx is a colossal stone structure that stands at an impressive 240 feet in length and 66 feet in height. The Sphinx's history is shrouded in mystery. It was once thought that the Sphinx was built by the Egyptians, similar to the pyramids. However, this may not be so. Water erosion at its base dates the Sphinx back to about 7,000 BCE. This suggests that either ancient Egypt was much older than previously thought, or that a similar advanced civilization built the Sphinx. The Sphinx has inspired countless theories about its true origins and purpose. From alien architects to a very advanced lost civilization, mankind may never fully understand the Sphinx. The Mummy wrapped in a foreign book. In 1848, an individual purchased an ancient Egyptian mummy from a merchant in Alexandria. For many years, the individual displayed the mummy as a decorative piece, unaware of the strange nature of the artifact he had discovered. A few decades later, however, scientists peeled off the linen bandages of the mummy, and they discovered something very strange. The mummy was wrapped in linen pages from a book, and it was not written in Egyptian. It took many years of research to determine what language the mummy was written in, but now we know that it was Etruscan. Etruscan is a language spoken by an ancient civilization that lived in what is now Italy. It is a language that we know very little about. The Etruscan words wrapped around the mummy make up what is believed to be the longest text of Etruscan ever found. However, there are still many unanswered questions. For example, we still don't know what the text of the mummy says. We only understand a few of the words, which appear to be dates or the names of gods. we can only guess what it means. Why would anyone wrap it around the mummy around a dead body? Above all, we don't know why there's an Etruscan book encased in a mummy's body in Egypt. Did the mummy belong to Etrusca? And if so, why would she be in Egypt? Before we wrap up, if you would like to know about the ancient technologies far too advanced for their time, click on this video. Thank you for watching the video, and if you like this video, please press the like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this.